Hello. Look at my new mic, y'all. I ain't seen the black one in forever. I don't know where it's at. Let me just put it on however I could put it on, right? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. It's been a while, guys. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? I missed you guys. I missed you guys. So it's 7:30 and this person don't know how to defensively drive, so I'm gonna go ahead and go around because I don't have time. And even when I do have time, I don't. All right. Good morning. What's today, y'all? Tuesday. The day after Martin Luther King's birthday. And I can't come up with the date right now, but I hope y'all was off yesterday because I certainly was. And I didn't really do much. I didn't even go outside. I made spaghetti, and then I did sausage and potatoes because I got to pay the $5 all week. You know, they got me back in the office real hardcore, and it's hard. It's a hard adjustment. It's a hard adjustment, but so far what I've come up with is that I cannot work on Fridays still. I still can't pay the $5 on Fridays. Hey, honey. I still can't pay the $5 on Fridays, so I will not be at work on Friday. Let me see. And yeah, as far as telework, they don't want us to telework. They want us they want us in the office real bad. And so, you know, it's depressing. I be wanting to cry. I really be wanting to cry because it's like, oh God. But yeah, so what I'm considering doing is like, okay, so I start at 8 and I take Sophia to her before kid at 7. I try to get there by 7, but it's be dark outside. So I'm like, it's too dark for my eyes. My eyes can't take it. So I normally would be at the highway right now. No, I got to be to work 15 minutes late. So what I think I might do is come to work at 9. Just take an hour off every day and come to work at 9. So I can have some light outside. Plus I can sleep my extra hour, which doesn't really make up for me working from home, but it doesn't make me feel like so bad for waking up at 05:30, 05:45. You know what I mean? Like, whew, that's hardcore. But we'll see, because I saved up plenty of time, even though I used a lot of my time. I had so much time, and so I was just using one set of my time. I was using a lot of my sick leave. But anyway, y'all, what all has been going on? I will address the elephant in the room at the end when I get the parking. But for now, as y'all can see, I'm okay. I will be, and like I said, I will be okay, and I am okay. But like I said, I'll get back to that in a second. What has been going on? What has been going on? I hope y'all had a good weekend and got some good rest. If you was off, and even if you wasn't, I hope everybody's getting the rest that they need as they need. That's a part of choosing yourself too. Don't forget about that. But yeah, so I wanted to talk about a couple of things that have been going on the blogs, and I know I'm late, but better late than never, right? Okay, so the first thing is something that really tripped me out was, first, let's talk about that movie. Oh my God, His and Hers. It was so good. Oh my goodness. It took me a couple of days to watch it, because from scrolling on the phone, just allowing myself to be distracted, laying down, I'm on the couch. I'm like, let me see what's going on. And then it started to get good. It started to be interesting. Like, what in the world? Why is the crackhead sister, like ODing, like doing the most? What is her problem? Or whatever. And then I finally was like, let me go ahead and watch this. This is before seemed like, I guess everybody was watching it at the same time. I said, let me see what's going on. It was so good. The end was so good and shocking. I was like, oh my God, I love a good murder mystery. Oh, I love a good murder mystery. So that was a good one. And it was definitely given, I can relate. I totally can understand. You know what I mean? It's just, what she did what needed to be done. She did what needed to be done, and that's just the bottom line. But that was such a good movie. But what's tripping me out about the movie is how everybody's acting like it does not need a season 2. There was no reason for a season 2 to happen. Use your imagination. That's the whole point of creativity. Use your imagination on how things happen, why things happen, what you saw, what you think was missed. That is the point. That is the point, for you to be able to go back over and see, like, oh my God, she should have saw this. The police should have saw that. That's for you to discover, decide. It's not for another season 2 to come to explain those things. Every detail should not have to be explained, okay? It's not needed. Season 2 is not needed. I don't need to know the backstory or where she was beforehand and how come this and what about that. No, she did not know who did it. No, she didn't. And the reason she smiled at the end, because she was appreciated and just realized how much love that she had, that she would be willing to do that to avenge her. I mean, that was just excellent writing, excellent execution. That was a good show altogether. But everybody, listen, enough with needing a season 2 and enough with needing an explanation for every single scene. Stop it, okay? It was good. It was real good. But let me get from behind this car right here. It's pissing me off. Okay. So something that made me laugh so hard. Something that made me laugh so hard, oh my God, was Druski doing the mega church skit. Y'all, did y'all see that? I was crying down to the ground. I watched it so many times. And here's what's trippy. Is Druski mocking God? Absolutely not. He's literally mocking what the pastors at the mega churches be doing. At least that's what I saw him doing. And the reason I know he's mocking them and not God is for every second of that skit, there was an actual pastor on a mega church doing that exact thing. Telling the people to lock the doors, being on a holster, being raised up in the church, okay? Flying all up in the church. Oh yes. Telling them they need the money tonight. That's not mocking God. If anything, you mocking God when you doing that in the first place. Now he's just mocking you. What he's trying to show you is how you out here looking. This is how you looking. That's what it's given. You see what I'm saying? And that's the reason why I can't even log in and look and be like, let me see, what this person is talking about, because they don't even be holding the Bible. You know what I mean? And I grew up in a church, hard body. I need some Bible. Show me your interpretation of the Bible. I don't want your opinion about anything about, it's one thing to give your opinion. It's another thing to give your opinion about something when I'm not here for an opinion. I'm here for you to look into the word, and then your interpretation of that, or your direct, reading of what that is, it should be what's applying to the situation. This is my opinion. Without that, I will not be listening, okay? I can't deal with an ATM in the back of the church. I can't deal with getting up and everybody seeing whether or not I put money in the pot. I don't have time for anybody coming to me, addressing me, okay? I might be here with my own issues. I don't need somebody to come and try to figure out just because I'm a visitor. I get it. Like, it's just become too much for me. It's become too much for me, and I'm not the kind of person that can really take that. You know what I mean? Because it's just kind of like, don't be approaching me like this at church, because ain't no way the Lord sent you to tell me this. I don't believe that. I don't believe, no. You wasn't the designated person to come tell me about how much money I did or didn't send. There's no way the good Lord put you up to that. There's no way. There's no way. And so with that in mind, the Druski skit was hilarious. It was funny. It was true. That is literally what happens. And so while it was true, it was sad, but it was hilarious. It was so out of control to see, because all you had to do was put a picture, every still shot of him doing something, there was an actual mega church pastor doing the same exact thing. And of course, leave it up to TikTok and social media to find all of the proof of that. All you gotta do is look it up, and it's right there. They'll have Druski doing one thing, an actual pastor doing the same thing. How you gonna tell them to close the doors and I'm in here because you want $5,000 before church end? Let me get my purse. I'm leaving. Ain't no way God told you to. What about the pastor who asked everybody for $2,000 and the lady was able to bring in $1,600, and he went off on her in front of the whole congregation saying, that's not what I asked for, and y'all not listening. If you don't give me my $1,600 check right now, so you're right. I couldn't come up with $2,000, so no $1,000. Because what you're not going to do is embarrass me down to my $1,600. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. But yeah, Druski, that was hilarious. It was funny. It just was what it was. I wish everybody would just be able to move on and fix the things that need to be fixed when it concerns how you dealing with religion and how you dealing with God and what you telling people about religion and God. That's what needs to be revised and revisited. Not whether or not he made fun of it. Because, listen, the jokes clearly write themselves. You know what I mean? It was a clown show when they did it, and it just became more of that when Druski just simply copied what he saw to make for entertainment value. And yes, the money that same money y'all was looking for, he was able to make that money. He's getting that social media money, and he has so many millions and millions of views of that. People crying. I know I was laughing down to the ground. But now somebody else that's pissing me off. You don't want to know who's pissing me off? A comedian that don't nobody really know like that. And do we have a Netflix special? I'm not even sure. But his name is Ryan Davis. And he was on the Shannon Sharp show. So that was already like, oh, God. Shannon, he's already like a disgrace to, the community, the human race, the football community, okay, the NFL, his family, his social media, okay. Shannon Sharp, we don't believe you. You need more people. Enough, okay? The way you paid that lady all your life savings, all the money you made at the football because you wanted to be called the N-word, okay? You wanted to be called a big black monkey, and she did just that. She called you all them things. She did that. And then you had to pay for her to be able to call you that. I mean, it's just shameful. It's shameful because I would have called him that for way less money. Way less money. $23 million? I mean, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? But I would have called him that for $3 million. Again, because $3 million for me is still life-changing money. I would have called him every N-word in the book if he wanted to be called that. I would have made him a slave. I would have put that little bar around his neck. I would have did that for him. He could have just easily called me and it would have been all of this. It would not have been all of this. It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have. Next time, maybe they'll know and maybe somebody will call me and then I could, put a leash on him, get a whip, and give him and make his dreams come true. I could make his fantasy come true for a mere $3 million. He wouldn't have to come up off all that money. But he gonna have Ryan Davis, okay, a comedian, like a social media comedian who's been doing well for himself, but he's still not a comedian I would watch. I don't like his particular sense of humor or his particular brand of comedy. I don't really care for that. But he was on the Shannon Sharp show telling us how, I guess he called himself taking accountability on some level. But he clearly still didn't take 100% accountability. So he was with a woman, whatever, got married. She didn't want kids. He wanted kids. She ended up having a couple of kids because that's what he wanted. He ended up breaking up with her. The kids stayed with her. Now, the older I have gotten, the more I realize, listen, ladies, you're going to have these kids. If you don't want these kids and you end up having them, you do need to pass them along to their father. You do need to do that. You need to do that. Because, what? What do you mean I didn't want kids, you did, and then you left me? And then you left me with the kids? Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'll be the weekend warrior. Okay? Go down to the courthouse and file the paperwork on me. Because I can't do it. So anyway, he had a couple of kids with her, breaks up with her, the kids stay with her. Now, he's particularly talking about his daughter. She is 11 years old, and he's saying that the love between them has changed, and she used to, in the past, she was a daddy's girl. Let me stop you right there, sir, okay? She's 11. She doesn't have a past. 11-year-olds don't have a past, okay? Of course she was a daddy's girl. She's not even a teenager. She's a baby. She's a little kid. Of course she's a daddy's girl. You were there. And then when you decided to leave, that's one thing. And things happen. But you didn't take her with you. Not literally, physically, or in your heart. You didn't take her with you. You just went and did what you wanted to do. And of course that changes. As she's getting older, she's at a crucial age. Core memories activated. She's very well aware of whether or not you're there for her. This is not something her mother has to tell her or explain to her. But of course, as a woman, we'll go ahead and take that to the chest too. We'll take that to the chin. We already know you're going to blame us for any and everything you do. That's how it's been since the beginning of time, right? Because the last time I checked, Eve didn't shove that apple down Adam's throat. He took a bite because he's a hater. That's the bottom line. You took a bite because you a hater, and you ruined it for everybody. You ain't gotta copy me. Just because I'm willing to see what's going on don't mean you got to do it. So that's what happened. But needless to say, so of course he blames the mother, and then he has the unmitigated gall to say that his relationship with his 11-year-old daughter now seems to be only transactional, and she just only wants to get things that she wants. And basically, what I hear you doing is adultifying your daughter, making her older than she is, by basically saying she's a gold digger. An 11-year-old gold digger? Sir, enough. But let's be clear about a couple of things. You actually have gold for her to dig. So what's the problem? Okay? What's the problem? That's number one. Number two, you don't live with her. Okay? So your money is a huge factor in how you communicate with her. Yes. That's number two. Number three, what are you doing to ensure that you have a better relationship with her? Because we both know when it comes to kids, the phone does not go both ways. You cannot expect a child, okay, because we're talking about power dynamics, you cannot expect any child to, no matter what the situation is, if you want the relationship, you should be willing to reach out. Period. Unless, of course, you're completely just done for whatever reason. If you're not done, it's okay. There is no embarrassment here. You don't, because you don't have to tell the world that, but there are things that you need to tell yourself. But Ryan, enough with the excuses, okay? Talking about she wants material things. Sir, how did she stop becoming a daddy's girl? The only way that could have stopped was from something you have done or not done. She wants material things. Sir, you are her access to material things. Needless to say, I had to go online and be like, she's not using you. She don't know nothing about using a person. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You her father. And if you really want her to be a daddy's girl and you really want her to feel like, if I could ask my father for it, you could easily become that person. Because you have the means. You have the resources, and you can simply find the time. You can do that. But you choose not to do that, and instead you adultify her and make it seem like she's some sort of gold digger, as if she's a woman that's just trying to use you for something. She's not a woman, and she's not a romantic interest. Okay, save your red pill content for your comedy routine, which is not that funny, by the way. But save it, you know what I mean? So I definitely didn't appreciate him already putting his, and then they put a picture of the daughter up, and so now you got all these grown men who want to go 50-50 saying her mother raising her to be a gold digger. Like, she's 11. Come on. It's no gold. Most people don't have gold to dig. Enough. Don't let the 2 for $20 at Chili's put you out of house at home. Because if that's the case, then you don't need to be bothering asking nobody to go out. Because like I said, I'm not splitting dinner with nobody. I don't want to eat dinner with anybody bad enough to split dinner. I'm not even asking to pay the tip. I don't care how anybody feels about that. Because you know what? I'm going to get dinner regardless. I'm going to get dinner regardless, but I would never pay to get to know somebody. I'm not paying my half to get to know somebody. It ain't no such thing as my half. Okay? Either you courting me or you getting the hell out my face. But for Ryan to make it seem like his daughter's a gold digger is shameful, and he really needs to apologize to his daughter. He needs to apologize to her for putting her out there like that, allowing her picture to be out there, and putting a narrative about her out there at 11 where she's in no position to defend herself. She's 11. The only thing she knows is you don't live there, and now when she asks you for stuff, it's a difficulty being able to get it. Why? You got the money, and if that's all you can offer her is the money, then give it to her. Give it to her. But you do have more to offer. You're just not willing to offer it because you don't have access to the mother. And that's a lot of problems that well, it's not really a problem. It's just the excuses that a lot of the men come up with for why they don't deal with their kids or have a relationship with their kids. because you don't have access to their mother. You're not entitled to have that access. You know what I mean? The kid was made because y'all like humping. That's the bottom line. That's the reason the kid ended up here. Everybody is to blame for how the kid got here. Both parties are to blame, if there's going to be blame or shame or whatever. But it's sad, and he owes that little girl an apology for sure. You know what I mean? That really kind of hurt my heart. But it's like, because, sir, you are her access to material things. She wants the new Jordans, you could give them to her. Since you can't call and have a real conversation with her, since you ain't came and picked her up and made it a point to foster a real relationship with her, you ain't done that. The least you could do is get her what she wants, so that she knows at a minimum, if I want something, I can ask my father. Everybody trying to pretend that relationships aren't transactional are delusional. And this is why, like I said, I've decentered all of those ideas, and I'm not with none of that. I'm not with none of that. Marriage and relationships have always been transactional. The problem is women weren't in a position to have the audacity to ask for their portion of the transaction. And now that that's happening, it's a very hard adjustment for the males to make. And while I get that, you can make the adjustment and you'd be left behind. But what am I getting out the deal? That's what I want to know. Because love ain't enough. Because if love was enough, we'd all be with our first grade crush. Our high school sweetheart. You know what I mean? Like, come on, enough. Love has never been enough to sustain a relationship when relationships are built to be transactional. That's the whole point. If you're not getting nothing out of it, why are you there? Why are you there? Because everybody knows love changes. People change, people get sick, things happen, your body changes, all of that. So you're going to have more of a reason and an incentive to remain seated, to sit down, have a seat, and stay where you are. But that's also why breakups are there. That's why divorce is there, so that you can get up out of there. Okay? That's what it's for. No matter how you feel about it, that's literally why it was created. And let's keep in mind, all religious texts and all laws were created by men. All of this is their making. All of it. And if you know me, you know I don't listen to men. Catch that. Catch that. I don't listen to men. In almost any capacity, except at work, and even barely. Like I said, I'm doing what I got to do to make sure the check clears. But yeah, I don't. And I don't recommend anybody else do it either, especially if it's going to be any type of oppression, abuse, or anything like that. It's giving reason number 333,792. Okay? It's a lot of reasons. I'm not listening to them. We in the state of the world we in because of them. Every war that has started is because of them. Food stamps didn't go out because of them. Okay? Healthcare is going away because of them. So the protection and the provision, you know, like my mother used to tell me, tell it to the Marines, okay? Because I'm not listening to that shit. Enough. But yeah, so I feel bad for the daughter, and I feel sorry and I have pity for Ryan, because while you making it seem like your daughter's a gold digger, you around here looking like the smallest gremlin I've ever seen. So that lets me know any girl you get with is going to be a transaction. You're not cute. You're not tall. And not that you have to be tall, but that's what everybody wants to believe that the women want. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure he's insecure. Plus he's fat. So it's like, what? Huh? And Shannon Sharp sitting there, yeah. Meanwhile, you paid that girl $23 million and didn't even want to give your daughter $30,000 for her wedding. Okay. The preferences ain't having it, y'all. They don't like y'all either. And even still, as long as they're going to get the same person, it don't make a difference what your preference is. If you ain't no different than who you've been, all you doing is giving a preference the same story I got or anybody else has. That's all you're doing. Okay? That's all you're doing. And so And if you're on social media, do it. Like I said, if you put it on social media, I'm going to comment. I'm going to say something. I'm going to be all up in your business. The same way when I put something on social media, you could say something, you could comment, and you could be all up in my business. Once I put it out there, once anybody puts it out there, it is what it is. That's it. Once you release it to the world, there's nothing you can do to control how that goes unless you choose to participate. And like I said, certain things that I say and do, y'all can argue in the comments about it for me. Because once I say what I'm saying, I said what I said. That's that. But, and so let me tell you 2 more people. I'm going to move on from that right there. Let me tell you 2 more people that's been pissing me off. Okay. Corey Holcomb and Anton Daniels. I can't stand either one of these males. I don't like them at all. Corey, it's like, you know, we've known you for a long time, and you used to be funny a little bit, but then your comedy became really extremely dark. Like, you got a problem with women for real, for real. You know what I mean? And that's not new, and I'm not surprised. But Anton, oh my God, he's so self-righteous, it doesn't make any sense. And he's a social media person. He ain't nobody. He's married. He has a daughter. He's called his wife his employee. He's the guy I put up a couple of years ago that said women were the #1 enemies against black men. I mean, he is pure trash, okay? Basura, for sure. For sure. It's like, what? So anyway, Anton goes on Corey Holcomb's podcast. I think it's called 5150. I didn't watch the whole thing because I don't support either one of these people. So I was with, you know, as I'm scrolling, I could see clips. And apparently, from what I saw, this is how it got started. No matter what was building up before, I can only go based off of what I saw. The clip I saw, Corey Holcomb says to Anton Daniels that he doesn't ever try to get together and really check white men. He's always talking about women or black women, but he never has smoke for black men. I mean, for white men. So then Anton is like, yes, I do, blah, blah, blah. And then Corey says, you be kissing white men's ass. That's what Corey said. And then Anton said, you be sucking black dick, the black community's dick. That's what Anton said. And for me, it was a record skip. Like, oh. And so Corey got super pissed. Like, don't be saying, like, I ain't never do that, blah, blah. Now, Corey's pissing me off because on one hand, it was giving, like, too many, like, anti-gay vibes about it, which is not really the point, at least to me. He wasn't trying to call you gay. You know what I'm saying? But you took it as gay at first, but then I guess you started thinking about it some more, like, you know, in real time. And it's like, I would never forget somebody from around my way. World B said, don't you ever invite nobody down to your private parts. Like saying SMID, absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like a lesson being learned. You know what I'm saying? But so Anton said he from Detroit. Okay, as a dude from Detroit, you know better than that. Like, those are fighting words. Because what you mean? You know what I mean? What do you mean? Especially like as men go, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. Men this, you know, men and their egos and all this stuff. But I get that at the same time. It's like, that's really disgusting to tell somebody. And so Corey gets up, he goes over there, blah, blah, blah. He sits next to him. He gets within swinging range of Anton. Anton don't even get up. He didn't get up because he was scared. He didn't get up because he already has security, like he said. And he wanted to get hit. He's willing to get hit for the things that he says. He's very much a person, what's the word I'm looking for? He's a provocation. He likes to provoke. So he says really outlandish things that take you off of what the subject is and get you to focus on what he's saying or whatever. So he's very much willing to do that. So he did that, but Corey was really clearly upset. Anton made it seem like, oh, we can go outside right now. Why would we go outside when it's space and opportunity right here? We could tear this whole place up. Plus your security's there, so enough. You know what I mean? Security didn't even step in. I didn't even see him get in the frame one time. And it's probably because he knew dog. Come on, Grandpa, go. Don't be scared. I'm skipping all these people. I need you to do the same thing. Thank you. See how now we're not on the highway anymore? But, yeah, to make a long story short, because I ain't got time to talk about either one of these people. I can't stand either one of them. I don't support either one of them. But Anton made it seem like, oh, we go outside. We don't need to go outside. I just came within range of you, physical range, where either one of us could have swung. You didn't even get up when I walked over to you. You know what I'm saying? But more importantly, Corey Holcomb kept saying, tell me the S my D again. Say it again, say it again. Anton did not say it again. Now, these people are old, and they need to realize that if you don't have the, I don't know if they got the Medicare and the Medicaid Part A, B, D, and C to get their prescriptions, but they all need to be signed up for AARP. Because it's giving, your shoulder about to be out the socket. And if Medicare don't cover that, who gonna pay the $5? Enough. Okay? Enough. Okay, so I made it off the highway, y'all. So, yeah, but that was such an annoying moment, because I can't stand either one of them. I wanted it off my For You page, but of course I had to be nosy and be like, let me see what happened. Let me see what their problem is. And both of them got the same kind of problem, where they, can't stand women. Corey thinks he's better than him because he's willing to say F white men and things like that. But, you're still on a white man's platform. YouTube is owned by white people. So enough. You know what I'm saying? Enough. Okay. Now, if these two really wanted to fight and make money, they would get in a boxing ring or do whatever, or they would just go outside and scrap for real if they really both about that life. But, that was just annoying to watch and to see. So, needless to say, it's stuff still pissing me off. And as we know, it don't take much, I always say. Okay? One last person that pisses me off to no end is Cam Newton. The only time I like Cam Newton is when he's on his 4th and 1 podcast with Peggy. That's when he's clearly in his element. That's when he clearly knows exactly what he's talking about when he's talking about football. When he's talking about anything else, it's like, Cam, have a seat and shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Okay? I can't stand Cam Newton because he clearly don't know how to think past a certain point. But like I said, I will always believe something has gone on with whatever has gone on between his parents is something Cam Newton cannot reconcile. Okay, he was a preacher's kid. I think his mother and his father was both like pastors, or mom at some point, but definitely the father. I think the father was very trifling. He might not have been like up in the rafters, telling everybody to close the door and try to collect the money. I don't know. But what I believe is Cam Newton saw some stuff between his mother and his father that he cannot appreciate, even though he has respect for his parents. Cam Newton knows his mother should not be there. She should not have stayed as long as she did with all the disrespect that she's endured. He knows that. And he got issues with his father behind that, which he has not been able to resolve. That's why he's upset, and that's why he has 300 kids without a wife. But Cam Newton's situation underscores why having a 2-parent household is not the catalyst to you being able to get married, be married, or have a healthy relationship with another person. That's not going to be the reason you can do that. You will always be personally responsible for that. Having an example of a healthy relationship is always an addition. It's a cherry on top if you're lucky enough, and I guess you could call it luck or blessed, whatever, to have that. But having that does not mean you know what you're doing when you get in a relationship. Because that relationship don't have nothing to do with you. The reason they staying together don't have nothing to do with you, no matter what they say. There is no such thing to me as really doing it for the kids. You're doing it for you. Because the kids don't need what the hell you going through. They don't need that. They ain't asked for that. But more importantly, they're going to be pissed off later on that you didn't know how to choose yourself. You'll find that out later when you get your report card from your kids. The same way I'm going to find out with mine. Okay? The same way I'm going to find out with mine. 8:05. Yeah, so like I said, I got to be late because I be needing the sun to come out. And so as we It's winter, but we're getting a little bit more sunlight in the morning. We'll see. But of course, what we're really going to see in 2 weeks or so is whether or not they're going to put us out again. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. I be driving like a straight Banshee. Like I ain't got no trainer. All these cars in my doggone way. Let's see. Okay, so I'll just park right here. But anyway, y'all, so like I said, I was going to address the elephant in the room. And the elephant is that a couple of weeks ago, I told y'all I got beat up by a man. And I did. That did happen. That happened to me, y'all. The first thing I want to say about it is I'm okay. I'm okay. My black and blues have healed. They've gone away. I have nursed myself back. But yeah, I did get beat up. That's true. It was by a man. And no, it was not. Let's be clear. It was not by a romantic partner. Because I told y'all I ain't messing with y'all. I'm not fooling with y'all right now. So it was not by a romantic partner. But it was by somebody I know, care about. And right now, I don't have anything to say. At the end of the day, no matter what the situation is, that was way more than an overreaction. Way more than an overreaction. Okay? But I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. The kids are okay. You know what I'm saying? And so, but that did happen. Like I said, enough is enough. I can't be having, a lot of responses could have happened and came from that. What I want to do is thank everybody that did reach out to me and ask about me and care about me when I put that out. The reason I put that information out instead that happened is because it did happen. I know that I've been up here since last year advocating for being able to tell a story or whatever story you want, that whether it involves somebody else or not. Because the situation is this. If you don't have anything to hide, if you don't participate in foonery, coonery, and buffoonery, then there's nothing to tell, okay? Anytime, if I decide to go into detail, or if I tell anybody exactly what happened, it doesn't matter who it affects, right? Because it's my story to tell. This happened to me, and if you're a part of that story, you know what I mean? All you have to do is not participate in shit like that. And while I get, egos are high, people are high, tensions are high for whatever reason, putting your hands on somebody is never going to be okay. Okay? Putting your hands on me is never going to be okay. Okay? But that did happen, and like I said, but I'm okay. I'm okay, but I told y'all that because that did happen, and I knew that I was going to need to take a 5-minute break or so to be like, damn, not me catching a beat down. You see what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Was that absolutely necessary? Like, no matter what. I didn't put my hands on nobody. I didn't strike first. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't have no reason to. But I understand that my mouth is a lot, as they say, as I've been told. I understand that me talking mad shit make people want to put their hands on me. And I've been in situations where people put their hands on me because they feel like I'm talking, and they feel like if they can't talk back, or if they just can't believe what I'm saying, that they're going to physically show me that they're going to control me. But like I keep trying to tell y'all, you can't control me. I can only control myself. But that's the same for everybody else. Stop trying to control people. You cannot, when it comes to me, you can't control me. Okay? I'm going to do what I want to do. And unfortunately, in this scenario, me doing what I wanted to do, saying what I wanted to say, resulted in somebody feeling like they need to physically show me that I was going to shut the fuck up or stop whatever the hell they felt like I was saying or doing. That's what happened. Needless to say, like I said, I'm okay and I'm going to be okay. But that's that. You know, I'm moving on from that, but I'm moving on in a way where, I don't know. It's just going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be what I need it to be for me, period. Now, like I said, shout out to everybody that cared enough to ask me, was I okay? To follow up, to be concerned. There was people that I still have not heard from at all. And it is what it is. I know where I stand with them. And the favor will be returned. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm definitely not a person that should be on your list when something happens to you. I said what I said. Now, the last thing I'm going to say before I go is have a good day. Okay? Try not to let anybody piss you off. And when they do, you know what to do. You could address it off to the side to where it could be you against them, or you cannot address it because it's not worth it. What went down with me was not worth what's going to be happening now, coming up with not only karma, but just how the world works. You know what I'm saying? It's certain kind of energies you cannot put into the world without getting it back. It ain't got nothing to do with me. You see what I'm saying? I atoned for mine, and I apologized for the part that I played and how all of that could have even came to pass. I've apologized. I meant my apology sincerely, and I will apologize again if I need to. I'm not begging, but I definitely felt like, okay, wherever I was coming from, what my issue was at the time, I had been drinking. It was New Year's, and I was I was to the top. I was to the top. Okay, but it is what it is. But I apologize to the person who I was basically giving a fucking hard time to. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just that. That person accepted my apology, and that's all I really needed. That's all I needed to know, and that's it. Everything that transpired after that was definitely given. How you get in it? How did you get in this like that? But anyway, but yeah, there's people who did not check on me, didn't see if I was okay. And like I said, I'm going to return that favor. So they don't have to worry about it. They don't have to worry about it. And y'all know exactly who y'all are. And if you don't know who you are and you think it ain't you, maybe it's not. But you'll find out. So don't reach out to me about no bullshit at all, because I don't want to hear it. I still love everybody regardless. Listen, this is not about whether or not I love people. But this is always going to be about me choosing myself. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I suggest everybody do the same. And when you choose yourself, there will be people that you will have to leave behind. And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? I'm the kind of person that's willing to go back and revisit and see and have apologies and have regrets and all of that. But I am also a person where if you don't like me, I don't like you. If you got a problem with me, I got a problem with you. If you want me to kiss your ass, you're going to kiss mine too. Okay? That's the kind of person I am. I'm not nice. I'm willing to be cool. I'm loving. I'm lovable and huggable. But it's not even about returning energy. I don't even have time to return the energy as much as it's just kind of like when I choose myself, I got to be able to remove myself. So, like I said, if you couldn't be too bothered to say anything, that's okay. It really is. You know what I mean? Because now the line has been drawn in the sand. But like I said, shout out to everybody that gave a damn about me. Nothing but love for y'all. Y'all have a good day at work. Like I said, be easy, and I'm going to do the same. Okay? What we're trying to do is not go to jail, and we're trying to make sure these checks clear every 2 weeks, every month, or every week as we get paid. That's all we have to do. While we watch the rest of the world, I guess, burn down. We about to get jumped by Greenland, Denmark, and Venezuela. Iran still owe us a fade. You know, get down to the store, like I said. Handle your business. Pay these bills. Get your paperwork in order. Get your freedom papers in order. Do that. And if the Lord keeps waking you up, take it day by day. All right? And I will do the same. Y'all have a good one. And my plan is to see y'all tomorrow. I'm trying to be back in business, but like I said, I'm still trying to decide if I want to do YouTube or go on TikTok live. I'm not sure what the hell I should do, but I wish y'all would go ahead and follow me over there on my platforms over there, which is s.live. S.styles live. But anyway, I'll see y'all. Y'all have a good one. All right, bye.